Last week we talked about soundproofing a wall for $20 and how it can actually be done to reduce some of the noise transferring from room to room. And I've already done soundproofing windows and doors for $20, and people have been asking me, is there a budget-friendly way to soundproof a ceiling, especially if you're renting? Now, there are a few things that you can do. If your budget is very low, $20, what can I do to soundproof the ceiling? And what if you're renting and you're hearing all those stomping? There is a way that you can minimize a little bit of the noise coming in from upstairs. Now, as in soundproofing a wall you have outlets, you have light switches. Those holes in the wall will let noise through. You might not really think it does, but it does. It's like a door. Any hole onto the wall, it's going to let noise through if it's not properly, completely blocked off. Same thing goes for the ceiling. What do you have on the ceiling? You usually don't have light switches, but you have the lights. It's held into an electrical box. That electrical box also has holes all over it to let the wires in and out, just like an electrical outlet or a light switch. If you have a drop ceiling, this will be much easier. There's two ways of doing it. There's a way to do it with a drop ceiling where you can just take the towel off, work from behind. There's also another way that you can do it if, like me, you have a finished ceiling in the basement. If you have a finished ceiling, there's still something that you can do. But first, turn off the breaker for the lights that you'll be working on for your own safety, and then come back down and remove the light fixture. So first things first, when you have your light fixture removed, see what you have. Is the gap between the sheetrock and the electrical box. This acoustical caulking is from Trademark Soundproofing. The difference between acoustical sealant and regular sealant is this will not crack over time. It will stay rubbery and flexible, so it won't crack, letting noise in over time. And these are our channel sponsors for this video, Trademark Soundproofing. I'll have a link in the description below of their website and also a 5% discount on anything you buy on their website. And it's under $20 for a 28-ounce bottle. So it's a pretty big tube for under $20. So what you'd want to do is add the acoustical caulking around where the drywall meets the electrical box. This one seems that we can easily do it. Now, the reason why you'd want to add acoustical caulking here instead of regular caulking, as I said, it stays rubbery over time. All of those footsteps, all that vibration, that will make regular caulking just crack. Every gap, every crack will let noise in, even if you don't think it's significant. And also what makes things worse for letting noise transfer so easily from upstairs to downstairs is that there's usually no insulation between levels in a home. So what's left is an open cavity that will echo through. So every footsteps is going to echo through that cavity and is going to find a way to go down, and those cracks, those gaps is going to let some noise in. Now, it's not going to be a miracle soundproofing method that's going to eliminate all that sound, but one thing is for sure, if you are going to add some drywall onto the ceiling, if you are going to take soundproofing the ceiling seriously, if you have a big budget, you still have to take care of those gaps. You can't leave them open because it will let some noise in, even if it's not so significant. Now, the other thing that you can do with that light switch, if you have a drop ceiling, instead of using caulking, you can use something called a putty pad. Putty pad, it was meant for fire prevention. You'd wrap it around that small electrical outlet box or light fixture, and it basically, if there's something that happens inside that box that creates a fire, that putty pad should hold that fire in that box, hopefully long enough that it extinguishes itself, or long enough that it lets you leave the house unharmed. And what's nice, it also works for soundproofing because it covers all those holes in that light fixture. So if you have a drop ceiling, that's another soundproofing method for your ceiling that will only cost you $7, $8 because most of the time you might have one or two light fixtures to take care of. If that's the case, then perfect. Now for $20, if you have a big room, that's about as far as you can go. Some people would say add blankets to the ceiling. That's not really going to work that well, because typically if you're soundproofing a ceiling, you're soundproofing due to footstep noise. If it is because of footstep noise, a blanket is not going to do much. It might decrease a little bit of airborne noise, which is people talking, but even then it's not going to do much. It's basically going to make the room that you're in just sound better, because it's going to absorb the noise that you're making. It's not going to do much for the noise that they're making, infringing on your space. If it was that easy, we just slap a blanket. It would look ugly, but heck, it'd be a lot cheaper than adding sheetrock. Now that's the other one. Adding sheetrock can be under $20. Yeah, one sheet is typically under $20. But if you're wanting to soundproof a ceiling of, let's say, a small room like a walk-in closet, because let's face it, a lot of people uses a walk-in closet not to store clothes, but as a small recording booth. What's nice is that you can make a very efficient recording booth in a walk-in closet, and you can soundproof it in a tight budget because the room is so small. So you can add a lot of material onto the wall, onto the ceiling, and it's not going to cost you near as much as soundproofing a big room. So if you have a small room, buying a sheet of drywall, slapping it onto the ceiling is going to stop more noise, like blankets or acoustic foam or acoustic panels. If you go on Google and you ask how to soundproof a ceiling, a lot of people are going to tell you, put some acoustic panels onto the ceiling. It's going to stop all that noise. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop the noise from upstairs to come downstairs. It's not. I wish it was that easy. But drywall, it's a hard, dense material, and that is what's going to stop more sound waves from coming down. The thing is, however, drywall is going to work very good for airborne noise. Like I said, people talking, a TV, something without a lot of bass. But if it is for footstep noise, an extra layer of drywall is not going to really do much to soundproof those footsteps. It's going to decrease the noise a little bit, but it's not going to do as much to soundproof a ceiling as it would to soundproof a wall. Because typically, people don't walk on the wall. So the types of soundproofing methods that you would use for a wall differs from a ceiling and a floor. And it can be a little bit more complicated because you would have to remove the layer of drywall to be able to eliminate those footstep noise completely. It is doable, however, it does cost more than $20. So make sure to subscribe for the future video of soundproofing a ceiling for probably $99, because there are some ways to actually get rid of those footsteps noise for still on a cheap budget. Thank you very much for watching. If you want more ways to soundproof a wall for $20, right there, $20 soundproof a wall, it can be done. Watch the video. It's pretty good. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, assuming you subscribed.